Okay, how to use the Model 12 here for crossover. I'll take you through the mixer, how to what all the options are, how to make the connections, check levels, arm for recording, monitor, and playback. So let's get started. It's pretty easy. So the first thing we can do is we'll make all our connections. So we'll take the power here, and it's a like a screw-in power. Like that. Power it on. Lights will come on. Okay. Then you want to make all of your, on the back here, you have all your inputs. So you can do a direct, like if you have a guitar or your drum pads, and also actual microphones. So make all those input connections. It's probably good if you have a set of headphones. And then the only other thing will be if you have a floor wedge that you want to use as a monitor, you're going to want to connect that into aux 1 output right there with a 1/4 inch. That'll allow you to monitor things live. Okay. That is everything. Now, let's make sure that everything is initialized correctly. So what I like to do is completely zero out the mixer. So all the knobs up. Now, the really important thing for recording is that all these sliders are set for live. That allows you to record what's coming in. If they're on monitor, MTR, that means when you play back, it'll play back what's on that track. So if you want to record all these, each one of these track switches that you want to record should be all the way to the left. Then you've got your compressor channels. We'll go through all this. So let's zero all this out. Your EQ section, it's all the blues. This doesn't get recorded, so it doesn't really matter what you have the EQ set, but the compressor gets recorded, so we'll talk about that. Auxiliary, this line here, aux 1 will be the output to the floor wedge. Let's zero that out for now. If you want to use effects, you can look into it. This would set effects on each channel that would not be recorded, but if the vocalist wants a little reverb or something, you can give them that. Panning, for our purposes, just keep everything on the center. All the faders will be down for now. All these mute buttons are not engaged. They're all up. I'll get into this record line here in a minute. And then a real important thing is to make sure all these solo knobs are up, all the sub knobs are up, and all the main knobs are pushed in. So if any of those are off, you might get a weird red light. This right here, PFL, you don't want that. You don't want to see that light. So make sure everything, even these knobs here, they're all up, not engaged. Okay, and you got our main section here. This is for effects. If you want the effects to go to the main and the aux, you can leave these switches in. Those might be the only two switches that are in, I think. Sub you won't be using, and then the main mute. Post record, I don't know what this is. Leave that in. I'll look at that later. Okay, so now the mixer's initialized. You've got all your connections in. The next thing is we'll look at the SD card. So the SD card is in here. It will be in there before you power it up. Should be. So you want to start, let's say, a new file, a new folder for a new song. So you go to menu again, and you'll see song. Push this button down. Okay, we'll scroll down. Whoops. And we'll hit right here, a new song. Now you want, this is set for 44/16. We always want to do 48/24. So we're going to turn this knob over so we're on 48/24. Hit OK, or you can rename it. It's a pain in the butt to rename these files, so just make note of this. So let's say this is the first song. So this will be, November 7th, 2022, song number 1, and we'll hit OK. Now, it's easy. There's a ton of space on this thing, so it's probably easy to just record all the takes on this one file so you don't have to keep creating new files. But it's your call. You can create a new file for every take if you want. But it's probably easy if you just use this file for like the first song. Even if it takes you 20 minutes to get that first take, just leave it there, and you can probably, I'm going to click exit and home here so you can see your time. So you can make notes of like take 1 was at 0, take 2 was at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So when we go to mix down, we'll know where each take started. That's my recommendation. So that's it. This thing is ready to go on the SD card. There's nothing else you need to do there, okay? For this particular file. Now the other real important thing is to arm the tracks for recording. So right now if I hit record, nothing's gonna happen because there's this record button here. See? So let's say you got 4 tracks. Make sure those buttons are pressed in. That's the most important thing. Buttons in, everything's to the left, and that's good to go. Okay. Now you want to check we probably could have checked the levels before we started this, so I'll just give you a real quick rundown. It's just like anything else where you check the levels. You want to set your gain structure up here. Now this is where the compressor comes into play, because you never want clipping. So I'm going to take a microphone and put it into channel 2. And then I'm going to start checking. See, nothing right now because I've got the gain down. So I'll bring the gain up here. Check, check, check. Okay, check, check, green. If I go too far, we're going to get red. Check, check. Check, red, no good. Okay. So that's where the compressor comes into play. You'll know you got a good line. I like to take all the compressors and put them like right around there, like 9 o'clock. Check, 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 check. And then if really things start going bad, that compressor will just slightly start kicking in. Check, check, check. This is a low gain microphone, so you're not gonna check, check. Here's a compressor, let's see. Check, check. Okay, now it's kicking in. So we really only want it to kick in just a little bit. Piece of cake. So just don't worry about it. If you're not hitting red on this, then everything's going to be good. And as long as you're getting a signal, we'll be able to mix it down later. So that's it. Your levels are set on everything. Right? The only other thing before recording is if you want to hear some stuff, okay? Live. So you've got your... Let's see, you got your headphones, obviously. You can listen to it on the headphones. Now, to hear it on the headphones, you're going to have to bring these faders up. These faders, it doesn't matter. Like, this does not affect what gets recorded. So you can set this to your heart's desire so you can hear it through the headphones while you're monitoring. So even while you're recording, you can go up and down. Doesn't matter. It's not going to affect the recording. It'll help you to hear it through the headphones, which will be here. Headphones out. Right there, and you might need to have the mains up like that. So the mains, really, anything that's main is really just going to be going to the headphones. That's all. That's it right there. Okay, now, auxiliary will be if the vocalist wants to hear through the floor wedge, you'll bring it up in here, and then you will turn up the aux output right here. Okay? That's it. So that'll be all this line here, an aux 1, will be what goes to the monitors. And you can tweak that so you'll get a live mix out to the floor wedge for each track, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so now at this point, everybody's got their levels. All the tracks are armed for recording, and really all you gotta do is hit record. And make sure that you start seeing the time increment. Okay? They're going to do it. They're going to do the whatever. They'll do the take, and when they're done, you can hit stop. Just hit stop. Okay? Now look. Now it's stopped. So you're at 15 seconds. Make sure that these tracks remain armed. Now they say they want to do take number 2. All you got to do is hit record again. See? It'll pick up at 15. So you make a note. Oh, at 15 seconds they started take 2 or whatever you wanted to do. You can do this the whole time for this whole song. You could even do it for the whole session. It doesn't matter. If you got 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and you just want to roll with this one file, do it. Because every time you hit record, it'll go again and stop. That's really it. That's the whole darn thing. Now, if you do want to pop out and start a new song, all you got to do is go menu, song. I hit this button down. New 4824. Make sure that's set and hit OK. Bam. Now watch though. Watch. So hit exit. Now we're at the timer. But look, the tracks need to be rearmed again for the new song. Just make sure you do that. And then this is song number 2. That's it. That's the whole how to use this thing. Once you're done, we can take this SD card back and then do whatever we want with all that. We'll have all the individual tracks to mess with. Now, one little advanced thing. If you want to go back, rewind, and play something back later on to make sure you got it or whatever, you hit stop. You got to take these tracks here and go back to monitor. So when you press play, it'll be reading what's on the card and playing it back. And that's where then these faders, you press play, these faders, and then the output will be coming to the headphones. And that's it. Just remember when you press stop and play, now you're back on 0. So if you want to go back and record again, you're going to want to fast forward to the point where you don't want to record over what you had previously recorded. But that's it. That's the whole thing. If you have any questions, just let me know. Good luck.